Good morning and welcome everybody. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. And today we're going to have the last stream with Onlive with Jonathan. So I'm going to bring Jonathan up and there he is. How are you, my man?
Hi,
Everything
I'm
okay?
very well, thank you. Thanks for having me again.
I'm glad to hear that, my friend. So I want to thank you for being on these live streams with me these past weeks. And we've gone from everything to event making to event planning, security, and how to monetize with your events. It's been really an insightful journey that we've been going through, especially for those marketers and agencies who really want to show how they can actually use virtual events for their own brand or for their clients as well. So, Jonathan, I want to ask you, how was your journey within Appsumo so far?
It's great. It's coming to an end now, but it has been a great journey. It started a little bit slow. I think we maybe misaligned a little bit of the offering compared to our normal sort of enterprise customers uh, versus the Appsumo community. We readjusted and we had a sort of a healthy pickup and ended on are ending on a good note, I would say.
Awesome. And how was so when it comes from the product itself on life, when it first started in, if I'm not mistaken, August, correct? If
Yes,
I'm not mistaken.
yes.
Something like that. Yeah, it started in August. How was the product itself from August and now? How was it from in terms of like reviews, product updates, how people felt about OnLive?
Um, so I mean, it's a continuous development, right? So we've gotten a lot of good input. We have focused on a lot on the infrastructure over the last couple of months. Uh, and rectifying things that have been pointed out. We have added not so many new features. We're saving that for a larger shipping that we're doing in the uh, perhaps mid Q1, I reckon, when we're replacing our streaming studio and going to have a bit more interactive streaming studio than we currently have. But it's been more focused on getting all of the infrastructure together and some behind the scenes work more than new features, I would say. So yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. And before we go into our next segment, Jonathan, can we talk about what you are going to work on inside of your roadmap?
Absolutely. So the big update, I guess, is the streaming studio updating that. There's other functionalities that are high on the priority list, like webhook support, some more integrations that have been pointed out. There's also some compliance stuff that is of course necessary evil, like SOC 2 Type 2 or SOC 2 Type 1 right now. That will also happen in Q1. So that are I guess is the main things that are in the immediate future for us, and also the event-wide survey is also scheduled for happening very soon. So that in addition to having session-specific service, you will have an event-wide survey that you can also send via email as a thank you message. So you can gather feedbacks not only from sessions but also for the entire event to capture sort of the KPIs that you're looking for, and then get the net promoter score from your attendees. Mm.
Awesome. And when you are talking about, let's say, for example, the net promoter score, that's for when is it like an email or is that, for example, it's going to be like an SMS type feature? How is it going to work exactly?
So it would partially be inside of the virtual platform, so attendees can conduct it during the live event. That has definitely the highest uptake. when people are engaged is when you ask them questions. The other option would be to also send post event. So in your thank you email, you can include the web link for the web survey, so that you can conduct the survey for the ones who didn't participate during the live event. In the survey, they can do it post via email. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, then. So just to, I'm going to hide this for now, and just to go on the Appsumo deal. So when we go for the Appsumo deal, people have been talking about this new product called Melon, and this has been becoming a bit of a comparison between Melon and OnLive. So when it comes to Melon, which is a StreamYard alternative, how do you think is the comparison between Melon and OnLive? The differences between it?
Mm, I think it's a little bit like comparing melons and oranges in that sense. It's that's they are. I mean, they are absolutely a great StreamYard alternative, like you said. Like you said, oh, well, I haven't tried it. Seemingly, so they can blend streams. They can push up to social media destinations, and they do that presumably well. Whereas we provide more than end-to-end event management software where you can do the communication, you can handle the ticketing and registration needs, you can do the post-event communication as well as, and of course also gather inputs and insights from your attendees. So if you don't only want to share on social media, you also want to uh, have it within your private space. It's absolutely better to do that with online rather than doing it with the StreamYard sort of competitors. I'm going to turn off my virtual background. I noticed a bit of a lag. Okay. Is it better now? Yeah.
You're trying to do virtual background on yourself?
Yeah, I did a virtual background. I noticed I got a bit laggy for a while over on my side.
Yeah, your voice and mouth wasn't matching there, but now it's better. I
Yeah,
think.
I think
Uh,
it's
yeah,
the downsides of virtual backgrounds is that they're quite CPU heavy. Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, but okay then. So when it comes with those comparison between Melon and OnLive, essentially OnLive has much more features when it comes to the actual virtual events, and Melon is just there for social media, basically.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad product by any means. It's a little bit two different types of products. If your target is to stream to say Facebook and a couple of others, and that's your main objective, then of course it's a very valuable product. If you need to have branded landing pages, if you want to capture tickets and sell courses or similar, you wouldn't be able to do that with them. You could do that with us. When it comes to streaming capabilities, our new studio that is coming is going to be a lot closer to I guess them in terms of the layouts and functionalities. And meanwhile, we do have RTMP in, meaning that you could connect with one of third-party tools as well as using our web-based studio in order to conduct your streams and all that. Also, when it comes to breakout sessions, running parallel streams at the same time, I had a quick look at their deal. It didn't look like that was supported, but I'm not 100% sure on that. To be honest.
I understand. So just to make sure, the studio that you've been talking about for online, that's out now or it's planned in the future?
The upgraded version is, like I mentioned, going to be released in Q1 of 2022, which is going to have support for lower thirds tickers like the one that you are showing right now here, okay?
Mhm.
As well as some other effects and timers and things like that that you can throw into to the stream to make it a bit more interactive. But again, our focus is on delivery to our virtual platform, while
Mhm.
as maybe Melon is for is more targeted towards social media destinations, while we handle it end to end with delivery included.
Mhm. I understand. And let's talk about when on live with social media now. So on live can do Facebook, LinkedIn, if I'm not mistaken. Is there any other streams that on live can do as well?
So we support custom destinations where you put the RTMP out. So you can
Hmm.
put any sort of social media that has an RTMP in, and that is of course all of the ones that you mentioned, including Twitter, including Facebook and YouTube as well. So that's how it works on our side. You can set your RTMP destination, your secondary destinations, and depending on your plan, you have X number of such destinations available per suite.
Hmm. Oh, that makes sense. When it comes to on live, let's say, for example, custom RTMP. Now, does that mean we can work and connect with other services such as OBS, such as Minicam, and any others? Is there that possibility for those who are new to streaming and want to do streaming or live events with OnLive?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can do RTP in and send from OBS or one of these third-party services. vMix is also another popular one by agencies that have camera crews and so forth. You can connect that with us and have professional camera equipment, light and sound, and send it to us.
I understand. We guys, just to stop here for a bit. For those who are seeing, do send in a question inside of the chat, so it can pop up inside of the screen here, and essentially we can answer your question as well once we see that it pops up. Okay, Jonathan. So when we talk about your Appsumo B, you're going off on the 15th, correct?
Correct.
In December, so that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Periscope. Periscope is something that's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be done on its own. If I'm
Per-
not mistaken, it's about in 2 years. It's not going to be active as much as it was before,
they're
and so
integrated into Twitter, I believe.
yeah, they integrate it into Twitter. So will a Twitter, an actual Twitter integration will be happening soon or later?
Like a native Twitter integration? Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. As of now, we haven't had very many customers who actually do social media streaming. So again, it's a little bit customer depending how the roadmap evolves. As of
Mhm.
now, most of our customers prefer having sort of a gated and closed space for their end customers that is off social media. So that has sort of been the use case for most of our customers. Yeah, that is sort of the difference, I guess. But definitely like an OAuth connection, where you can connect with Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn, would possibly be absolutely possible. It's just that from our existing customer base, it's been hardly used, to be honest.
I understand. We also have a few questions here as well. I'm going to pop them up. So here comes my kids in tow. I hope I pronounced it well. So they're asking, how does this compare to Hopin? And just in case, Jonathan, if you'd like to share your screen and show on live, you can do that as well, and I'll put it up.
Mm, I think when we started explaining some core differences between Hoffman and ourselves is that I think we're more comprehensive on, say, landing page builder for building up your event page and all of that. We have more modular design, and have more comprehensive form builders to capture the data that you want. That can sit on a CNAME. I believe that they have that in higher tiers as well on open side. I'm not sure if that was ever available for the uh, Appsumo deal, but I think that's one of the reasons why we win customers from them is that they're sort of attendee registration, and that is a bit, I wouldn't say infant, that would be a lie, but it's a bit less comprehensive than ours. So I can share my screen and then we can have a look on how that looks like. One second. So an example of if you could pull that up. Yeah. So an example of a landing page would look something like this on our side. We can put that on a vanity URL, but you could also put that on a CNAME. We have space for content blocks, multi-day agenda, countdown. Countdown could also be in sort of in the header. Venue, if you're running a hybrid event, we have guest check-in, an iOS app that can be used for hybrid events, as we discussed another day. Speakers, sponsors, of course, again, and various types of tickets that you can include group registrations, free registrations. The registration page can be invite only or password protected. So quite a lot of options when it comes to sort of the landing page, which is I guess, the first digital touch that your customer would have after they click on your invitation. That can also be sent from our side.
Awesome. We have another question from My Kids in Tow. Are breakout rooms available now?
They are available now. You can have unlimited number of breakout rooms with up to 19 people in each room. You can have free seating, or you can specify who sits in each room. There is possibility of having a moderator to start the room, or anyone can sort of start the room. That's how breakouts currently work. Yeah.
We also have another question. Will you integrate with Public Connect or ThinkSpider?
Possibly, if it's voted on, we have the roadmap public. So if there's a lot of votes for Public Connect or Spire or Integrately or one of these other sort of no-code integration tools, we could look into that. Currently, we have Zapier integrated from before, so I guess it would be very similar in terms of workflows, but to a different endpoint from our perspective.
He said, thank you, sounds good.
Welcome.
Awesome. Actually, this brings out a good question. Besides Public Connect or ThinkSpider, the second most popular Connect tool that I know is Integromat. Is there actually any plans on that?
Like these integrations are sort of would be customers, or regardless if they're lifetime customers or not, that we decide that.
Mhm.
From a roadmap perspective, I don't see much value add in doing it without customers asking for it, but because ultimately it's sort of up to them what kind of data warehouse or integration partner that they use, and we
Mhm.
definitely see, say, enterprises coming in and saying that they would like to see Market or some other sort of native integration, and that's why we added Salesforce, right? So absolutely willing to look into that based on number of routes. I think that is again, it's the weighing that we as founders have to do is it's sort of supplier based on demand, I guess.
Mhm.
Some bets you take for the future, but when it comes to those sort of integrations, it's because users would use it more frequently, and that would benefit them.
Awesome. Okay, then I'm going to stop screen sharing for now.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have any questions, more questions for Jonathan about the product or his Appsumo journey, please do send them our way, and we'll pop them up inside of the video here. So, Jonathan, I'm going to talk about let's say how do you envision OnLive in the next 5 years, if I can ask that?
5 years is a very long time for any sort of application, in the sense that so many things happens right now. I mean, Web three, nobody could foresee Web three 2 years ago, right? So the macros change so quickly. We're currently exploring a couple of interesting partnerships. One is actually with Coinbase that we're exploring right now, and to be able to accept payments through crypto and things like that. I wouldn't say that it's anywhere near looking at metaverses and things like that, but we're exploring those sort of integrations with the team from Coinbase. So possibly that would be one of the things that might pop up in our roadmap, because we have quite a few crypto customers, and crypto are of course interested in virtual events due to the nature of and electronic funds and so forth. We would definitely would double down on working on streaming studios, uh, more so than in person stuff. I guess it's because it's a more uh, friction-free way of communicating with our customers cross borders and whatnot. So I guess that would be where we are doubling down our efforts, is on sort of those tiers, and adding more functionalities to seamlessly be able to create virtual events, regardless of where you are in the world.
Awesome. But that's a really good, that's a really different how the way of thinking of when it comes to SaaS, like you said. And yeah, let's see how the next 5 years go, especially with this coronavirus, if it's there or not. I've
Yeah,
actually
let's
seen,
hope not though. Let's hope not for coronavirus sake. But we don't believe that just because coronavirus is fully eradicated, we don't believe that virtual events will end, because we're seeing now bigger and bigger customers coming in and asking for longer and longer plans. That they will run parts of their events in person. Absolutely can't replace that sort of human interaction, but definitely that some of their events will have challenges to run in person for the next couple of years, and that they see a benefit of doing it online because of the sort of wider audience that you can attract for a virtual event that doesn't have to travel and so forth.
Mhm. Okay, then I'm going to talk about some of the rewards that existing and new AppSumo users can also benefit if they'd like to as well. Um, uh, if you are watching this live stream, such as My Kids in Tow, we're going to put in this link here, which is going to change now. And there's that link, smartpa.ge at BioLink. You need to go on that link, and just in case if you can't type it out, I also made a QR code on the, on the, yeah. So
This side. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, something like that, essentially. I made the QR code somewhere up there, and you can use your phone, and you'll be redirected to two review platforms. If you bought on live, you'll get, if you do one review, bad or good or neutral, whatever your review is.
Good,
Uh,
not bad.
oh, that too, Jonathan. Um, you can go and do a review, and you'll get 1000 usage credits. So what does that mean? 1000 usage credits is audience credits for your events. They're one time, they don't roll over. And essentially, if you do both, you'll get 1500. These are good if, say, for example, you're going to do a test run with your client, or you're going to do something for yourself as well. These are very good when you need them, essentially. I'm going also to post the link inside of, and my kids was saying I already bought it. Awesome. So, my kids you just need to follow that link. I'm going to post it inside of YouTube as well. And essentially, you can just follow the instructions, and there's the instructions what you need to do afterwards. And after that, we can talk about you can talk with rewards at Onlive.io, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Just send us an email of proof of reward, and we will um, communicate with you when you will. Maybe it's not your first event that you need the additional usage credits, so you can decide when you want to use them. It doesn't need to be on your first event. So just let us know, and we will upgrade that particular event for you.
Awesome. I'm going to share my screen very quick. Let's see if it lets me. So I'm just going to do this, and it should show me this. Okay. Can you see my screen? It should be on. So once you go on that link, you're going to see this where it says on live, and you can follow all of the text instructions here. Once you do, just if you do Captera or if you do G2, once you click on them, you'll have a new tab which isn't showing here once they get opened. You just need to follow the instructions, review, and send it to rewards at onlive.io. And from there, they'll help you send you the credits. Okay, then awesome. Do you have any other questions, guys, inside of the comments? I'm also going to put it inside the link there as well, so you don't have to worry. Be here. And other than that, Jonathan, do you have any other thoughts or final say when it comes to Appsumo, the users, your
No,
journey?
it's been overall good experience. For us, it was not about getting quick cash and run away with it. It was more of sort of a going from enterprise customers to sort of move downstream, and then apologies if that sounds rough, but going down to the smaller type of customers in a larger number, and sort of figure out what their needs was, uh, getting input on roadmap, and all of that, and spreading across geographics, so that it would be yeah, again, going sort of global with having global customers, which has been an awesome experience.
Awesome. We have another question, Jonathan, and I do apologize for this person. There might be a chance that I might mispronounce your name. Riskivon Dom. They're saying, hi, do participants have to sign in first to use, or can it be directly from our domain? Thanks.
We support CNAME, so you can put up a CNAME, being virtual dot yourdomainname.com, for example, for the registration portion. If you don't want to have a registration portion, you could import these attendees as a CSV file, but they will still need to sign in. But that signing can be used, can go through a magic link, so you don't really see the sort of login step, if that makes sense. But it will still be sort of an authentication. Otherwise, sort of anyone with the URL would be able to log in, which could be a bit of a headache for everyone included. And we discussed that before with regards to security on streams and all that, Gary.
Yeah. Just for everyone to know, just in case you haven't seen our last stream, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about security where if you want, instead of them signing inside of OnLive directly, you can actually integrate it with your application via SSO. And from there, it's like a one-click sign-in, and they can sign in that way if you'd like as well, if you know how to do it and if you have the developers, obviously. Otherwise, this is a bit of an enterprise type.
Yeah, it's more of an enterprise organization sign-in.
Yeah.
But regardless, you can import attendees, you can distribute the magic links, and that way the sign-in process is sort of seamless in that
Mm.
sense.
Okay, so there are two ways then. So the first is the SSO, which is enterprise. Otherwise, if not, then they can send out the magic links then to their audience.
Yeah,
And they won't
absolutely.
get signed out or something like that when they do the magic links, right? Like if they refreshed or something like that, they'll still stay signed in.
They would get signed out if another sign-in is detected. So if they are
Mm.
account sharing or anything like that, the account would be signed out. And also if you would remove them or block them, they would also get signed out. But other than that, they should not be signed out. There is a session cookie stored when they sign in, so it should keep them alive throughout the event without having to log in again.
All right, that makes sense when it comes to user sessions. Okay, then, and I'm seeing that the upstream is coming up as well. Guys, if you have any more questions like the one below, just send it to us and we'll answer it as well. Um, what um, what we can do, Jonathan, as well, is there a way to I always wanted to ask this because I don't know if you have this or not, but do you have a sort of like let's leave the registrations out of the landing page of OnLive. If I want to gather leads, is there a way for me to make a form instead of a registration page within OnLive, or I can integrate with my external form within OnLive for the leads to sign up within OnLive, but with my own form.
You would have to then import it as CSV file. So that it would have to, yeah, you would have to do that via CSV file and import that to OnLive. But that is, again, we discussed that briefly in roadmap, is webhook support. The webhook support would then solve that, so you would be able to push registration data through webhooks under the plan there. So that is, of course, a benefit for people.
Just in case for everyone's, I'm sharing the roadmap again, so we can see it on what he's talking about. I'm just going to leave it here. And yeah, I'm glad that we had this talk, Jonathan. It's
Likewise, it's been a pleasure being on here for quite a few weeks now.
it's been a pleasure as well. And as I said, it's very insightful to learn about virtual events with you. I've been in this space for a few years now, and honestly, there's always something to learn about and something new.
Absolutely. Same. I mean, it's a never change. That's what I said when I couldn't give you a straight answer to my 5-year plan. Is because there's so many macros in terms of what has happened in sort of the space in a very short time, as well as how fast the web is progressing and what is needed. Who knows? Maybe every stream needs to be an NFT in a year in order for it to be sort of valuable. Who knows, right? It's impossible to say those things, but we're definitely keeping a close eye on sort of trends and absolutely trying to align our platform development as such.
Yep. I always like asking that question just to see what your thoughts are still, even if it's a bit vague and we don't know. There's always an
Of
insightful
course,
answer.
of course, of course.
Okay, then we're going to close out the stream. I want to thank you, guys. I really want to thank you for asking these questions as well. If you have more, do post. I think YouTube and the other destinations, they still let you post the questions. So do post them, and we'll see them later on. So just in case we ever do another stream in the future, we can have them handy and to answer them for you as well.
Perfect.
Okay, then. Thanks, guys. See you, and have a good day, and have a good
Thank
week,
you.
and have a good holiday and New Year. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you, guys.